I would say free 45 Savage, but he ain't exactly in jail. So it is what it is. The Democrats think they won something today. They didn't win nothing today, folks, because we still on the cut the check. We don't care. Y'all put Trump in the system. All right, that's great. Cut the check. Let's go. Let's make it happen. About time. Free Trump. Yeah, right. We all right. I know this is a late night stream and I ain't tell nobody. I'm finna tell people right now. Y'all gotta give me a second. I gotta give me a second. I'm gonna go tell people. But yeah, Trump's in the system. So all you happy people, y'all happy. That's all we gonna say. Y'all happy. That's all we gonna say about that. But we're gonna break down the indictment real fast. We're gonna hear his statement, and I'm getting up out of here because I don't want to be on this too long. Because yeah. So how's everybody doing? Everybody's great. Cool. All right. Enough talking. Let's get to the show. All right. We're gonna start with this article right here. Alvin Bragg had to come out with a statement because he a whole ass Soros appointee. mm, mm, mm. So it says DA Alvin Bragg justifies Trump charges. Everyone stands equal before the law. This was written 4 hours ago via the New York Post. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg justified his unprecedented prosecution of Donald Trump Tuesday as part of his solemn responsibility to uphold accountability in the business capital of the world. We regularly do cases involving false business statements, Bragg told reporters shortly after the former president, 76, was arraigned on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records related to hush money payments made ahead of the 2016 election. The bedrock of the basis for business integrity and a well-functioning business marketplace is accurate record keeping. Bragg was flanked by a sign that said the Manhattan DA's office had filed 168 counts of felony falsified business records between 2019 to 2021, and that since he took over as the borough's top prosecutor early 2021, he's filed 117 of the felony counts. The indictment brought by Bragg, the first ever against a president or former president, is built on an alleged catch and kill scheme Trump is accused of orchestrating through shady payments and bogus business entries filed by the Trump organization. This Negro looks like he has never missed a meal. Never. Brother Torian Rain, hello. Make sure you clean your grill for tomorrow. So I don't want you lighting that grill up and it blow up in your face. Blacklight Revelations, hello. Yes, make sure you share, like, and subscribe. That's right, share, like, and subscribe because I'm not like other YouTubers. I'm different. DA Alvin Bragg outlined the allegations against former President Donald Trump at the press conference. This case is about 34 false statements made to cover up other crimes, Bragg said. Trump repeatedly made false statements on New York State business records. He also caused others to make false statements. He added, today we uphold our solemn responsibility to ensure that everyone stands equal before the law. No amount of money and no amount of power can change that enduring American principle. Boy, you sound like a, what we want to call him, yeah, that old thing.
You are a triple coon. Dancing coon. Dancing.
Yes, sir, because how dare you? You sound like Abby Phillips the day of the insurrection, talking about they're going into our capital and they're threatening our democracy. Boy, you better go sit down somewhere and do some exercises. What do you mean? That American principle has not worked for us. Why do you think it's going to work for Trump? Can somebody get my man a comb? Boy, what is he going on with? What is this? Sir, you look like you need to go to sleep. I'm just saying. Just saying. Boy, oh boy. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. Hold on 1 second. Stream. And I just find it funny that everybody's on Rumble right now. And Rumble crashed. This is what they worried about, but check this out. Well, we'll get into that in a little while. Trump looked like he got lost in the desert and tumbleweeds landing on his head. Facts. Somebody get my man. You passed all them Rite Aids on the way to the courthouse and you did not pick up a cone. All right. Donald Trump appears in. Oh, that's the picture. Trump, the then president candidate, disguised payments to his personal attorney, Michael Cohen, his legal services when Cohen was really sending hush money to porn star Stormy Daniels and Playboy model Karen McDougal to kill unfavorable stories they were about to leak to the National Enquirer, according to the newly unsealed indictment. Daniels and McDougal have each claimed they had sex with Trump, allegation he has vehemently denied. Cohen and Trump made the payments by setting up shell companies, Bragg said, and continued to make false statements. 45-minute arraignment took place in Manhattan. Trump could not say the payments were simply reimbursement for Mr. Cohen's payments to Stormy Daniels. That would have been to admit a crime. Bragg outlined. So instead, Mr. Trump said he was paying Mr. Cohen for fictitious legal services to cover up actual crime committed the prior year. Citing a thorough and rigorous investigation, Bragg also said that Trump and Cohen conspired to mischaracterize the payments to Mr. Cohen as income to the New York State tax authorities. Trump declined to speak to the press in the courthouse. That's felony criminal conduct in New York State. True and accurate business records are important, all the more important in Manhattan, the financial center of the world. Boy, stop. You know what? I could be that guy, but I think I'm going to be that guy when real estate agents be doing what they doing. I don't see y'all going hard like this. But all right, it's all about Trump, huh? All right. I'm sure old Stud Pierre is going to be giddy as hell tomorrow to talk about this. Oh boy. All right. Let's look up the indictments. Here we go. CBS News. We're not even going to read this. Let's see. He pled not guilty to 34 counts of falsifying business records in the first degree. We all did that. The basis of the indictment is falsifying. We read all that. Let's see. They gonna talk. Let them talk. Where's the sound?
John Dickerson, Chief Election and Campaign
Fair
Correspondent
use.
Robert Costa, and CBS News legal analyst Ricky Klayman. Ricky, you've read through the indictment. What stood out to you?
I think what stands out to me is I wanted to know what the nexus was. What's the connection between falsifying business records and what law was concealed? And what we've learned is that the government says that this was a conspiracy, in essence, an agreement of more than two people to keep information away from the voting public in 2016. So it's a federal election violation, a state election violation, as well as a mischaracterization for tax purposes.
And there
So y'all are telling me that he did all this because he thought he wasn't going to get voted? I really don't think the American people would have cared that he paid money to porn stars to have sex with them. I don't think they would have cared. That's just me, though. I'm just speculating. I don't think so.
might be new witnesses, right?
I think the new witnesses are the things that intrigue me.
For more on the legal and political implications of today's charges, let's bring in Chief Political Analyst John Dickerson, Chief Election
Information away from the voting.
Right?
I think the new witnesses are the things that intrigue me most, because what we have here in order to prove this agreement or scheme is they talked about the CFO, that's Alan Weisselberg. They talked about the comptroller. They talk about the accounts payable supervisor. So these witnesses may have already testified or given information to the district attorney's office. And when you look at the allegations concerning Weisselberg, he's either a target or a witness.
Really interesting, Robert Costa. Along with this indictment, there was a 13-page statement of fact filled with some really interesting details, and the timeline is important.
Nora, when you read this statement of fact, there's another piece of history right here that in 2017, Trump's first year in the presidency, he was cutting checks to Michael Cohen in the Oval Office. So during his first year in office, while he's dealing with immense national security challenges and all of these other major issues, he's also, this statement of fact says, and this indictment says, at the center of a criminal scheme to pressure Michael Cohen to make these payments, to stay quiet. It is perhaps the closest criminality has come to this U.S. presidency since Richard Nixon.
And John Dickerson, what does this mean for Donald Trump legally?
Man. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. So we're not going to talk about how, never mind. We're not going to talk about how Bush Sr. was profiting off of Desert Storm. We know we're not going to talk about that, right? We're not going to talk about how the Clintons were making money during the Kosovo incident. We're not going to talk about that, right? We're not going to talk about how Bush Jr., his brother Cheney, and all his cronies through the Carlyle Group were making money hand over fist during Iraq. We're not going to talk about that, right? We're not going to talk about Obama making money off bombing the Middle East, right? We're not going to talk about that. We're not even going to talk about Obama's trust fund that Daddy Ray Santoro set up for him and his 3 step siblings. 2 of them die, and he's just waiting for the other one to pass on so he can get the full fortune. We're talking over $500 million. We're not going to talk about that, right? Yeah, we're not going to talk about that. Let's talk about a man who paid off some porn stars. We're not even going to talk about how y'all didn't want to investigate goddamn Biden sitting up there putting out calls to have the New York Post suppressed on Twitter because they broke the Hunter Biden story. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about Burisma. We're not going to talk about the Sun. We're not going to talk about the $1 million payment that you found and put out there. We're not going to talk about that investigation. We're going to talk about somebody paying off porn stars. All right. I just want to make sure we got our priorities in order.
Politically in the future?
Well, politically, it's been sorted the way things always are with Donald Trump. His supporters rush to his aid, say he's a victim of a prosecutor. Those who are his detractors say no one is above the law. What was tantalizing about all these facts is we thought this would move into the legal realm where reason, fact, argument can win the day. But that's going to take a very long time to work out. It may take a year or more. And that means this legal case raises the stakes, gets everybody talking in apocalyptic terms, but the political process is ongoing. The legal process is very slow. So the stakes are high, but nothing's going to happen legally to actually resolve those stakes.
It's going to be an interesting couple of years. John Dickerson, Ricky Kleeman, Robert Costa, thank you.
There you go. So there's that. There's that. Now they talking about he a whole criminal. All right. Kind of par for the course for DC, but all right.
Insult to my existence.
All right, folks. Let's hear Trump's statement, and then I'm going to sleep. Fair use. I be in that motherfucker chair and cut the check. They throwing my ass out. Yo, hey, what is up with this? Damn, this is some terrible quality. I'm gonna fix y'all's camera. God, dog. All right. Sure. Sorry, I'm not even playing it. My bad. My bad. Let's start it over. That was on me. This man waited for his music to finish. Cut the check. Cut the check. Cut the check.
to save our country. God bless you all. God bless you all.
Uh-huh. Come on, get to the show.
And I never thought anything like this could happen in America. Never thought it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who
Here comes the
seek
cheering.
to destroy it. From the beginning, the Democrats spied on my campaign. Remember that? They attacked me with an onslaught of fraudulent investigations. Russia, Russia, Russia. Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. Impeachment hoax number one. Impeachment hoax number two. The illegal and unconstitutional raid on Mar-a-Lago right here. The lying to the FISA courts, the FBI and DOJ relentlessly pursuing Republicans, the unconstitutional changes to election laws by not getting approvals from state legislators.
Mm-hmm.
Millions of votes illegally stuffed into ballot boxes and all caught on government cameras. And just recently, the FBI and DOJ, in collusion with Twitter and Facebook, in order not to say anything bad about the Hunter Biden laptop from hell, which exposes the Biden family as criminals and which, according to the pollsters, would have made a 17-point difference in the election result. And we needed a lot less than that, like about 16.9. It would have been in our favor, not my favor, our favor, because our country is going to hell. And we remember the 51 intelligence agents who said Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation. It didn't exist. It was Russian disinformation. Remember that? And that was all confirmed strongly by the FBI when they all knew that it wasn't Russian disinformation. And so much more. Our elections were like those of a third world country. And now this massive election interference at a scale never seen before in our country, beginning with the radical left, George Soros-backed prosecutor Alvin Bragg of New York, who campaigned on the fact that he would get President Trump. I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him. This is a guy campaigning. He wanted to get President Trump at any cost, and this before he knew anything about me, didn't know a thing about me. He was campaigning. As it turns out, virtually everybody that has looked at this case, including rhinos and even hardcore Democrats, say there is no crime and that it should never have been brought. Mm-hmm. Never have been brought. Everybody. Even people that aren't big fans have said it. They said this is not the right thing to do. It's an insult to our country, as the world is already laughing at us for so many other reasons, like our open borders, our incompetent withdrawal from Afghanistan, where we left behind American citizens, $85 billion worth of the best military equipment in the world, lost 13 magnificent young lives, and far too many to mention that are so badly hurt with the loss of arms and legs and facial obliteration. The most embarrassing time in our country's history, in my opinion. Then our give up on energy independence and even energy dominance. We're going to be dominant within 6 months, more than any other nation times 2. We had this all just 3 years ago. Our raging crime statistics, if you look in Democrat-run cities, numbers the likes of which we have never seen before. The open threats by various countries of the use of nuclear weapons, something never mentioned or discussed by outside nations during the Trump administration, in which
CRU, hello.
could very
Ricky
well
Jones,
lead
hello.
under the Biden administration's leadership to an all-out nuclear World War III. Can happen. We're not very far away from it, believe it or not. an economy that has been crippled by the biggest inflation we have seen in more than 60 years, and a military that I used to defeat ISIS in 4 weeks. They said it would take 4 years, 4 weeks, to kill al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, that has now gone woke at the top levels by trying to indoctrinate everyone down to the lowest ranking patriot. But now they have really stepped up their efforts by indicting the 45th president of the United States, who received $75 million votes, which is more than any sitting president in the history of our country. And in the wings, they've got a local racist Democrat district attorney in Atlanta who is doing everything in her power to indict me over an absolutely perfect phone call, even more perfect than the one I made with the president of Ukraine. Remember, I kept saying that's a perfect call. This one was more perfect. Nobody said, sir, you shouldn't say that. Many people on the phone were hung up in disgust because of something I inappropriately said, because nothing was said wrong. In fact, at the end of the call, we agreed to continue our conversation about election fraud, and election fraud specifically in Georgia at a later time. Many people on the phone, including lots of lawyers, nobody found anything wrong with that perfect call until a book promotion tour many months later. All of a sudden they say, you know, I remember Trump making a call. Let's look at that. This fake case was brought only to interfere with the upcoming 2024 election, and it should be dropped immediately. Then you have a radical left lunatic known as a bomb thrower who is harassing hundreds of my people day after day over the boxes hoax. You know, the boxes hoax, as we call it. Just so everyone knows, I come under what's known as the Presidential Records Act, which was designed and approved by Congress long ago just for this reason.
Whose man's is
Under
taking
the
this?
act, I'm supposed to negotiate with NARA, the National Archives and Records Administration,
Somebody took this with their phone.
which as of this date is a radical left troublemaking organization that red flags the Constitution of the United States and the Bill of Rights as dangerous and triggering. Can you imagine? This is what we have to deal with. But there is no criminality under the Presidential Records Act. That is not what it's all about. We were negotiating in very good faith, proper way, in order to return some or all of the documents that I openly and in very plain sight brought with me to Mar-a-Lago from our beautiful White House, just as virtually every other president has done in the past. When FBI and DOJ officials with NARA were here, I told my lawyer to show them the very secure storage room in which they were locked. The FBI's sole request in writing was, could you please put another lock on the door? We immediately complied. It's a lot different than the Biden situation, isn't it? The next thing I know, we were raided by many gun-toting FBI agents who took whatever they wanted, including my passports and medical records. Everybody was in shock. Nobody had ever heard of such a raid before. We can't even believe it. Who would think that that could happen today? I immediately thought of the Fourth Amendment that protects against unreasonable search and seizure. But they did it anyway because our justice system has become lawless. They're using it now, in addition to everything else, to win elections. Apparently, they're not looking at me through the view of the Non-Criminal Presidential Records Act. They came up with a new one. This is a new one. And they're looking at me through the Espionage Act. Think of that. How does that sound? Of 1917, where the penalty is death. Even though that has absolutely nothing to do with openly taking boxes of documents and mostly clothing and other things to my home, which President Obama has done, the Bushes have done, Jimmy Carter has done, Ronald Reagan has done. Everybody's done. In fact, Hillary Clinton got rid of 33,000 emails, and that was okay. But nobody's done it like Joe Biden. This lunatic special prosecutor named Jack Smith, I wonder what it was prior to a change.
Facts.
Who others of his ilk say he is even worse than they are, is only looking at Trump, yet Joe Biden took massive amounts more documents, even removed many boxes to Chinatown. You believe that? Just got $10 million from China. Where did that come from? I guess they were banking on Hunter's expertise, and had others stored in unsecured offices in Pennsylvania and strewn all over his garage floor, where his now very famous Corvette is also stored. All over the floor, including classified documents. But that's okay. Perhaps most importantly, he has 1,850 boxes in Delaware, which he is refusing to give up. But isn't that real obstruction? That's obstruction. As president, I have the right to declassify documents, and the process is automatic. If I take them with me, it's automatic, declassify. Biden was vice president. He had absolutely no right to declassify as vice president. He doesn't come under the non-criminal Presidential Records Act. He comes under the very criminal Federal Records Act, unfortunately for him, but it's not going to matter because they don't follow the law, which has very severe penalties. He had classified documents that he took while he was a senator, which is absolutely inexcusable. And other senators, including Democrats, are outraged. But he's not being harassed and hounded like the people who work for me are. In fact, they seem to have forgotten about.
All right, enough with the show, man. This should have been your opportunity to just bring out the files and just expose everybody, bro. This is what I need you to do, bro. I need you to expose everybody in the next 2 months. Just expose everybody.
His documents entirely. So many, thousands and thousands. It's okay with him. They like to say that I'm obstructing, which I'm not, because I was working with NARA very nicely until the raid on my home. But Biden is obstructing by making it impossible to get the 1,850 boxes or explain why many documents were located in Chinatown. Can't explain it. Why were they in Chinatown? I don't know. Lastly, I'm under investigation. This time a civil investigation by another racist in reverse.
What the hell?
Who also campaigned on, I will get Trump. I will get him. This was her campaign. Never ran for office. I will get him. Her name is Letitia James. And she proclaimed while campaigning, quote, I look forward to going into the office of the Attorney General every single day, suing him, and then going home. Before she knew me. She announced, what is fueling my soul right now is Trump. And that she had her eyes on Trump Tower. Those eyes are focused on Trump Tower. Didn't know the young lady. She even assured her supporters in an election promise that we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the ass. He's going to know my name personally. And then she claimed that I was an illegitimate president. Think of that. With all we did on energy, with all we did on the military, on taxes, biggest tax cuts in history, biggest regulation cuts in history, right to try, people able to get drugs now that aren't approved. Hopefully you don't have that problem. Letitia James vowed to use every area of the law to, quote, investigate President Trump and his business transactions. Those transactions are going to be investigated, she said. And that of her family and his family, because we're going after his family and we're going after them hard. This is all before entering office and all before knowing anything at all about me, but you're going to get me. This is why, along with unrelenting crime, so many people and companies are leaving New York. She said that I falsified my financial statements, but in fact, we're proving and will prove that my financial statements were substantially more than we submitted, not less. And in all cases, have a strong disclaimer clause in them, which tells the institutions that may look at that if they want to, not to rely on the statement. But they've got a problem with their case because, number one, I'm very underleveraged. They can't believe it. All the stuff they read and gave, and have very little debt relative to the value of assets. And importantly, not one bank has lost even $1. She was investigating me to save banks. They have very good lawyers. But they didn't lose $1 with us during this period of time. In fact, the banks we're talking about made almost $200 million off Donald Trump, and they liked me very much. We never missed a payment, never got a default notice, had a great relationship with all of them. I don't need banks. They have a lot of cash. I built a great business with my family, built a fantastic business.
Man, what is what he on right now, man? Just say, man, I'm putting man.
I have a son here who's done a great job, and I have another son here who's done a great job. Tiffany. And Ivanka and Barron will be great someday. He's
Oh
tall.
Lord, here we go.
He's tall and he's smart. But I have a great family, and they've done a fantastic job, and we appreciate it very much. They've gone through hell. So she's suing me over banks that weren't defrauded when she should be focused on violent crime that's driving people out of the state. This is a persecution, not an investigation. She's put our family through hell. It's cost hundreds of millions of dollars to defend, but our heads are held very, very high. They want to settle the case, but I want no part of that. So here we are now. It's where we were today, in a city that was so great just 4 or 5 years ago. But
what?
now we're there.
What is he talking about?
Today, as you possibly read, with a local failed district attorney charging a former president of the United States for the first time in history on a basis that every single pundit and legal analyst said there is no case. There's no case.
This is the one thing I don't like about Trump, bruh. You could have just did a 5-minute statement and got to the point. You really sat up there for 25 minutes going in, and you ain't saying nothing. You should have just came in and said,
"Oh, you motherfuckers." Okay. All right. I'm putting cases on all you bitches.
That's all you had to say.
"Oh, you motherfuckers." Okay. All right. I'm putting cases on all you bitches.
All you had to say, bruh. You out here just talking.
They kept saying there's no case. Virtually everyone.
Let me just be told.
But it's far worse than that, because he knew there was no case. That's why last week he delayed for a month and then immediately took that back and threw this ridiculous indictment together. Came out today, everybody said this is not really an indictment. There's nothing here. My lawyers came to me and they said, there's nothing here. They're not even saying what you did. The criminal is the district attorney because he illegally leaked massive amounts of grand jury information for which he should be prosecuted, or at a minimum, he should resign. And Alvin Bragg's wife confirmed a report that claimed her husband has Trump nailed on felonies. She has since locked down her Twitter account. His chief prosecutor, who represented the Democrats and crooked Hillary Clinton in a firm run by Chuck Schumer's brother, Robert, he quit the firm in order to go to work in the DA office in order to get Trump. Can you imagine that? Hillary Clinton's lawyer, Democrat lawyer, Democrat.
Bruh.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Yeah, because you'd be in jail.
Where the hood at? Had a nigga in the cut where the wood at?
The hell? He up there just talking. He should have said Alvin Bragg.
Beat it. Wash your ass.
That's all he should have said. Jade Sucre, hello. Leonard, hello. That's all he should have said. He up there talking for 25 minutes and ain't saying anything. Damn. I want to hear. All right, how much more left? 5 minutes. God damn.
Firm. Ultimately, he quit as chief prosecutor because Bragg didn't think he had a case. Think of that same guy that brought this ridiculous thing today. Yet during his investigation, this prosecutor named Mark Pomerantz wrote and published a book saying all sorts of privileged things and has been very strongly reprimanded. He was reprimanded so strongly. I've never seen anything like it. That's probably the end of it. But what he did was probably very illegal. But he was very, very strongly reprimanded. Even District Attorney Bragg was furious with him. They were having a tremendous fight in the office because of it. But hope is never lost because various prosecutors in the DA's office also quit because they thought President Trump was being treated very unfairly. How about that? Isn't that great? Oh, I love them. I'd like to meet them. I'd like to meet them. The DA's office even had a web page. Meet the team of executives who have done this to President Trump. That was the title. Isn't that nice? They immediately had to take it down. Meanwhile, overall crime in New York was up 30% last year. Much more than that the year before, with felony assaults, robberies, and burglaries all up by massive, massive numbers. Not the same place that I know, not the same place that you know. And this is where we are right now. I have a Trump-hating judge with a Trump-hating wife and family whose daughter worked for Kamala Harris and now receives money from the Biden-Harris campaign, and a lot of it. We recently had another trial, and the same judge told the fine man who worked for me for many, many years that if you admit your guilt, you will be in jail for 90 days. But if you don't, if we go through a trial and you're found guilty, you're going away for 10 years and maybe longer, which for a 75-year-old man with a great family really means life. What the prosecutors and judge did to that man, I will never forget, because it's right out of the old Soviet Union. That's where we are. They said, you say anything about Trump, meaning that's bad, and you won't even have to serve the 90 days. You'll walk free.
You got to watch these old niggas. You got to watch these old niggas.
People every single day through his representatives. They're threatening jail terms. But
I don't
talk
even know
about
what he's
Trump and
talking
you'll go
about,
through this
family.
is where we
What
are
is
as a
he
nation.
talking
Who would have
about?
thought there can't be a That's the country in which we live. Oh, look at that one right there. Look at her titties. The economy is crashing. Inflation is out of control.
I'd rather listen to
Russia
that all day
has
than what he
joined
talking about
with
right now.
China. Can you believe that?
Oh my God.
Saudi Arabia has joined with Iran. China, Russia, Iran, and North Korea have formed together as a menacing and destructive coalition. Would have never happened if I were your president. Would never.
You gotta make the money first.
You know what? Would Russia attack?
Then when you get the money, you get the power. That's why you gotta make your own moves.
Beautiful cities would be standing. Our currency is crashing and will soon no longer be the world standard.
It took you 20 minutes to say
which will
something
be
of
our
relevance.
greatest defeat, frankly, in 200 years. There will be no defeat like that. That will take us away from being even a great power. If you took the 5 worst presidents in the history of the United States and added them up, they would not have done near the destruction to our country as Joe Biden and the Biden administration have done.
He did hello. How do you? I'm done. Come on, get to the end. Just say "Make America Great Again" so I can shut your ass off.
Incredibly, we are now a failing nation. We are a nation in decline. And now these radical left lunatics want to interfere with our elections by using law enforcement. We can't let that happen.
Come on, just say "Make America Great Again" so I can turn this off. You're making me upset right now. You ain't saying nothing.
With all of this being said, and with a very dark cloud over our beloved,
Just call Storm. She'll clear it out. What the fuck?
I have no doubt, nevertheless,
Even my computer don't want to hear you.
that we will make
Say it.
America
Say
great
it
again.
There it is.
Thank
Hey, look, what's going on? Are you on crack, Coach? Beat it. Wash your ass.
Boy, that man can talk, boy. God. Oh man, my head hurt. I don't know what he was talking about. All right, you got indicted. You took a 5-minute statement and stretch it out into a quarter of a rally. What is going on here? Damn. All you had to do was get on the mic, say, all right, I got fingerprinted and they pissed me off.
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay. All right. I'm putting cases on all you bitches.
That's all he had to say. He went and did a quarter rally and said nothing. Jesus Christ. At least come out. He should have came out with the t-shirt on and say, they fingerprinted me. MAGA got to stand up. Say something. This was annoying. He should have sang Jay-Z and R. Kelly, I'm not guilty. At least pour out one for the dead homies. Do something. All you do is talk. It's annoying. Hell, go outside after you got arraigned and you said not guilty. Hit him with this. Damn, at least the news would have had something to talk about. There he go. He's skirting the law again. Get them enraged. You just take it and then go back on your plane home, have a whole rally and a dinner and said nothing. Damn. M. Flournoy, hello. I can't stand this man. Only should say, yo, I'm shutting the border. That's it. My name 45 Savage. Everybody at the border. Guess what? Like Sean Paul said. That's all he had to say. He go on there and say he just be bragging about his family and Democrats. Damn. All right, y'all. That's it. That's all I wanted to show y'all. He got indicted. I wanted to show y'all the statement, and I'm going to sleep because that man give me a headache. God, dog. All right, y'all. Take care. Stay safe. Remember, be here 9:30 in the morning. Got the upload coming. It's gonna be a nice one. It's gonna be a nice one. And I might even go live in the morning because I found out that King Passport Bro Austin Holloman is no longer a passport bro. So I might talk about that. Shout out to the Bunker TV on that. Yeah, I might do that. I'll see how I feel. But anyway, y'all take care, stay safe out there, and y'all know what to do when the agitators of peace come to mess up your existence.